A significant ruling in the war on terror. I'm Ed Kelley, editor of The Oklahoman. With me from Washington is Mark Green, national editorial writer for The Oklahoman and a frequent contributor here on News OK TV. Mark, it's been a few days now since the Supreme Court, by a narrow margin, ruled that foreign detainees confined to Guantanamo have the right to civilian courts in this country. What's been the feedback so far in Washington from the White House and others who disagree with this opinion?
Well, Ed, the response from the White House was respectful but strongly in disagreement. The president said that he strongly agreed with those that dissented in the case, the 4 justices in the 5-4 decision. Other reaction around town probably splits along predictable party lines. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who's a supporter of John McCain, said that perhaps there should be a constitutional amendment proposed to get around or to satisfy the problems that the Supreme Court came up with.
Mark, what's been the response now from the 2 presidential candidates, John McCain and Barack Obama, since this opinion was issued late last week?
Well, it also has been fairly predictable, at least in terms of a developing political issue. Senator McCain, the Republican, called it one of the worst decisions ever in the country's history. And Senator Barack Obama, the Democrat, said he agreed with the decision and then tried to link it with the Bush administration allegedly trying to create legal black holes for these detainees down in Guantanamo.
Right. Let's go back to the opinion itself. Justice Antonin Scalia, who sided with the minority in this case, said the ruling will almost certainly cause more Americans to be killed as these dangerous detainees are released. Do you think the Justice Scalia could be correct in his analysis?
Well, he could be, at least on paper or in a theoretical sense, he could be correct. His reasoning is that as you move these detainee cases into civilian federal courts, that the evidence standards will be higher, the rules of procedure will be more stringent, and it'll be just generally a higher bar legally to process these detainees. And then as a result of that, you could have more of these detainees that are just released or who are dismissed from U.S. custody. And the reasoning then follows that if more of these people are dismissed or sent back to their countries of origin, they could rejoin the battle and start killing Americans again. And indeed, Justice Scalia in his decision cited a couple of cases where that has already occurred. The whole thing points of just the continuing struggle that the U.S. judicial system has in trying to apply our rules and our procedures to a war that has very unique aspects. These detainees that don't wear uniforms, that don't hail from any particular country, and just how to deal with them. It's just one of the lingering and continuing struggles that our system has in dealing with this war now 4, 5, 6 years later.
Okay, Mark, thanks. Stay here on News OK for more coverage of this continuing story.